fucking foolish. Try to get them funds up, killing the mic just like I ran the jewels in. Y'all gonna get done up front, knowing that kid with an attitude, but you can't really blame his mother for this. What he had to do, I'm about that cash flipping, I'm getting it on and off the market. Not about that VIP, not me, not never been a fan of carpets. All about that RIP for all of my Jesus gone departed. All about that finish, what I started, I'm about that.
Top down the night, you're not ready. We ride, we ride, we will party. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night. Top down the night, you're not ready. We ride, we ride, we will party. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night.
Know that I'm about it. Want a man I can bring the drama, but it ain't by chance. I'm fucking rapping, you the real water problem. Made a little cash in the back end, but still rap like homie starving. Yeah, y'all ain't gotta ask who the man is. Hope I'm gonna be like, beg your pardon. I'm about that.
Top down the night, you're not ready. We ride, we will party. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night. Top down the night, you're not ready. We ride, we will party. So high, we see the whole city. We own the night.
And what's up, everybody? Welcome to the July 16th edition of the Power Hour, also known as Thursday. DJ Oakley here, Quinn Pushkar, Michael McKenzie, Tristan Reynolds below me. Then you got EB, Eric Bailey, and the legend of Max Baseball Academy. It is Billy McCartney. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Solid.
Fantastic.
Is anybody doing worse for the wear after last night's press conference, which we'll get to in a little bit, but I feel like everybody kind of was waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it was like we got sent to timeout by Governor DeWine. Anybody else feel that way?
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, I felt like I got scolded by my parents for not eating my vegetables, and then, like, he gave me the or else.
Did you ever, being a parent now for the first time, I feel like I always get to like that 1, 2, 2.5. Like, I feel like that's where we're at. We're at 2.5 right now, and he's getting ready to really get us. But instead, he asked us politely for the next 4 to 6 weeks, I believe, to wear a mask. So all things considered, not the worst thing that could have happened, because all eyes are on, naturally, fall sports, getting kids back to school, getting businesses back open. And I think at the end of the day, what we were all waiting for last night didn't happen. There's a lot of people that were kind of pissed about it, kind of upset. But I think all in all, I'm happy that we didn't get spanked and put in timeout. We'll get to that a little bit later. But guys, you know what day it is today? Anybody have any guesses? It is National Get to Know Your Customers Day. And you know what? I know our customers pretty well out on what we call YS Nation, and they get really upset whenever I promise that we're going to do a giveaway and I don't do a giveaway. Yesterday we promised to do a giveaway, and I forgot about it. So naturally today we're going to do a giveaway, and it goes like this. The first, and this is for all you YSN followers and YS Nation out there, the first person to chime in with a correct answer that we see will get a free t-shirt courtesy of Your Sports Network. The question is this: what were the first 4 schools to sign on with ysnlive.com? The first 4 schools, doesn't have to be in that particular order, but the first 4 schools to sign in with ysnlive.com, and you are the new owner of a YSN Live Plain Jane t-shirt, proudly brought to you by YSN and our friendly folks over at Stitches and Stuff. So, guys, National Get to Know Your Customers Day. You're all a part of YS Nation, and Michael's got the mask on. I don't think you have to wear it in your room, bud.
He said wear them at home, so.
Did he?
I think so. That's what my mom told me. I don't know.
All right, you wear it wherever you want, dude.
No.
I am not wearing it at home. There's no chance. But you be you. So what have you learned about YS Nation? What have you learned to know about our quote-unquote customers? Quinn, I think you've been here the longest. What have you learned?
I learned a lot, actually. I mean, they're just, in general, like, everybody on YSN is very supportive of what we do. Like, they're all on board, and they want the best for us because we know that we're going to give the best to them. And it's that kind of relationship that just makes it grow even more.
Love that. Mike, what do you think? What do our customers, what do you know more about our customers now than you did before?
Now that I've gotten to have a few conversations with people that actually listen into YSN, some people telling me, you do a great job with YSN, thank you. They're very appreciative of what we do. We're able to get podcasts out. We're able to do these for some of these parents' kids, maybe for, you mentioned it, some highlight tapes for maybe colleges or stuff, but they're very appreciative of what we do at YSN, and they love what we do here.
T?
I'll piggyback off of that. Everyone I've ever talked to about it is real appreciative. They just like the fact that high school sports get covered all the time, not just the game of the week or, matchup everyone wants to see. I mean, they're getting that coverage that, shit, if I was in school, I'd love it. You know what I mean? I get to watch everyone wants to watch themselves. So, the kids love it. The parents love it. So.
EB, you're one of the newer guys to join the Brady Bunch here. Talk to me about what you've learned more about YS Nation from just being part of it.
Yeah, I think it kind of, to piggyback off of Michael and Tristan, like it embodies the area. So I think people relate to it because we all are from this area. We're not just someone trying to make a quick buck or anything like that. We're part of the community. We embrace all the communities, and we just have a passion for sports, more or less. So it really embodies our area with, I guess, what we call the Youngstown grit and the Youngstown way, where it comes with hard work, and we're not expecting anything out of it. It's more so for everyone else.
Billy, you're part of YS Nation, and you actually are a sponsor. So why is YS, talk about the customer base that you've seen and how they've transferred over to you.
Well, everybody kind of hit it. Everybody's so appreciative and excited to be somewhat a part of it. I think that a lot of the fans and customers basically own it as their own. They've helped build it to a degree. And then from a business perspective, it's just a great opportunity for my little small business to get some recognition. And I've already had 5 or 6 people who called just by watching a Class B game or another thing we were sponsored. So
crazy.
It's a win-win for everybody.
Love it. Thank you guys for that. I appreciate it. Let's get to some positive vibes before we flip on over to the other side of the pancake. The question of the day on YSN is, who is your favorite sports teammate that you've ever had? And this is a tough one for me. I think we've all had a lot of teammates, but is there one particular teammate that really stands out in your mind and embodies what you've always wanted and what you think of when you think of a teammate? Billy, we'll flip it, and we'll start with you this time.
Like our own personal teammate?
That's your own personal teammate you played sports with. It could be T-ball, it could be, semi-pro.
I'm actually going to go high school football here since it's kind of football season. We had it was our coach's son, which was a weird spot for him to be in general, but I embraced him, and his name was Nick Bajelic, and he's actually a defensive coordinator at Canfield, so he'll be watching this too. We were like yin and yang, man. I could be over aggressive. We both played linebacker. I was the Mike, he was the Will. I could be over aggressive, and he was the bookend to me. He did everything I didn't do, and we were a complete package. Everybody thought we competed against each other, but we joked about it. Like it was, hey, I'm going to go out there and be as crazy as I could be, and you be the calm, cool, collected one, so I could be crazy. We're yin and yang, man.
EB?
One of my favorite teammates, dude, that's tough. I have a ton, but one off the top of my head would be Cale Miller. He was just one of those dudes. He was always team first, but he knew how to push you, but he knows how to keep it lighthearted. He's just passion is something that would always come to mind when I think of him. Now he's a wide receivers coach over at Massillon, which is wild to me because if you saw him as a wide receiver for Columbiana, like he was nothing to write home about, but he was just a great teammate all around, whether he was the best person on the field or not, even a basketball court. He was probably one of my favorite people or someone that I looked forward to when we went into practice. You knew he was going to push you, but you're going to have fun doing it.
Awesome, man. Tristan, what do you got?
I kind of got two, like buddy-wise, going out and, just cracking jokes and making everything better. Andrew Mayer, he was a year behind me. He was our running back. It was just one of those things. We were always cracking jokes, and, if something was serious, we would crack one, make someone laugh. But again, man, I got to go with Carter Hill just because he was my quarterback. And we didn't like we would just have different signals on our own, and we just knew we were on the same page. Like, throw it up, that's where I'll go. You know what I mean? So, and the way he led, like, there was never a down minute. We could be down 30, but you think, the game's on the line. You never know, and vice versa. So I guess as a leader too, probably Carter Hill. Absolutely.
Love it, dude. Michael, who do you got for your favorite teammate in sports of all time?
I really don't think I can pick one teammate as my favorite. Everybody's got the one guy that they crack jokes with, but every team I've been on, the whole teams, the old teams together, we're all cracking jokes. We're all really on the same page. Nobody really stands out as a favorite teammate to me because every team I've been on, everybody's really close with each other.
Very cool.
Ohio Athletic Association call right there.
Q, who do you got?
Yeah, mine's my buddy from high school, Tony Velasquez. He was one of those guys. He would joke around all the time with us, but he was able to, like, when the game happened, he'd be able to flip that switch and kind of be a leader for us and keep us all together and everything like that. And we really bonded through that. But then, like, it's one of those ones that he's going to last a lifetime for me. So it's that special connection.
It's that special connection you have with that one particular teammate or a few teammates that makes kind of life worth living as you get older, right? They always say that look at your baseball team now, look at your football team now, and 3 of those guys are going to be your best men or groomsmen in your wedding. And it was true for me. I've had this guy be my number one since I was 3 years old. He's been a great teammate in life, a great teammate in sports, to the point where when I'm throwing down the old plunk sign in one of our games, it took him 3 tries to get it, but he eventually hit Jay Yordy in the knee. I think 7 years have passed, so I think that's the statute of limitations on beanballs. So yeah, we did go after him a little bit. There was some jibber jabber that was going on prior to in a chat room. That's how long ago this was. On JJ,
like AOL.
Yeah, it was JJ Huddle, I believe.
JJ Huddle, yeah.
That we went back and forth. So interestingly enough, and it was like instant messenger, like AIM instant messenger. That's this era. So Johnny Simon, one of my best friends in life, and my shortstop. You talked about your quarterback. He's my shortstop, and my pitcher when I need somebody hit. If I got three chances to do it for sure. So I just thought that was a cool kind of leading into, we're kind of at odds as a nation right now. We're so divisive and everybody's divided, and now it's an opportunity to kind of lean on the guys or gals that have led you there and have been great teammates to you in life. So we want to put that out to the Power Hour Nation. Drop your number one teammate in the comments if you would, and give them the props that they deserve, because it's that time. It's time to give a little bit of light instead of the darkness. Guys, Class B last night. Michael, you had a call on Scene 2 a couple games. I had Scene 1. Andrew had on 3. Let's go through the scores that aren't up there really quick. So don't worry about it. It was interesting to me that we talked yesterday about there's sometimes that there's a close game and sometimes there's blowouts. You never want to be on the side of the blowout. I experienced a game last night that was 3 innings long. 3 innings long, and there was 18 runs. It was 18-3.
Time limit get them?
Yeah. Oh no. There was a rule that no one even knew about. You look at the commissioner. He was even like, I had no idea that there was a 15-run rule in there, in effect, because they play by 3 sets of rules. They play by the 14, the 16s, and the 18s, and the 16s and 18s don't have that 15-run rule. So it was one of those things where Stevie Les was like, listen, I read this thing up and down, but he's a 16U coach. He helps out with the 18Us, and he's the commissioner of 14Us. And he was like, "This is ridiculous." So
I think that was the year that rule went in, either last year or the year before last.
I have no idea. I like it. Don't get me wrong, because usually when you're down 15, that the white towel should be chucked in. I like that rule, but man alive, to see that, to watch that. It was kind of tough. And you look at CSA, they're not a bad team. They just had a rough outing, and A to Z was clicking on all cylinders and beat them by 15 runs. So you look at that. And the second game was a little slower paced, and I think the final was 7-3, 8-3. A to Z got a nice sweep on the night, puts them back into opportunity in the 14Us for playoff positioning, trying to get that 6th spot. So we'll see how that goes. Michael, how were your games?
I actually had 2 really good games. They were both what you could call walk-offs, but the umps actually kept it going a few batters after, because we were in the 6th inning, so it's technically not the end of the game since the game's go 7. First game, final score was 9-8. Roth defeated Ballistic. They actually came down. They came back. They were down 6-0 heading into the 4th inning. They ended up winning the game 9-8. Gabe Saunders was the guy who eventually ended the game, what you could call the essentially walk-off triple, the 2-run triple to give them the 9-8 lead and end the game. Then second game, Creekside, Roth. Creekside was down 4-1, and they went back and forth starting in about the 5th inning. I think the game went 2 hours and 25 minutes in total, but in the end, it was, I believe, Brendan Ray hitting the walk-off sac fly, and then they go a couple batters past again to finish the 6th inning. But I had a couple 1-2-run games that were what you could call walk-offs, so it was great action on Field 2 last night.
And I believe the 14Us are back on tonight. We saw the pitching kind of, interestingly enough, especially for the prospects. They pitched 20, then they pitched 50. So the two kids at the front of the rotation there can pitch again tonight because they only pitched 20 pitches. So, Billy, from a pitching coach perspective, is that something that is... I don't want to say that it's cheating the system a little bit, but it's basically like pitching not even a bullpen when you're pitching 20 pitches, and then you start up again the next night. Your thoughts?
It's not really something that I would do, but when you have, with those 14-year-old teams, some of them only have 12 or 13 kids, so it's not like the 18U level where we have 25 guys and we have 10 pitcher onlys. So it's not like you have the numbers to go out there, and back-to-back games are hard for anybody, especially for a 14U roster that only has 12 or 13 guys. So that's probably why they did that.
That is a great point. I guess I didn't really think of that, and that's I mean that is tough when you only got 14 guys. But at 14, isn't everybody a pitcher primarily at that point?
I mean, as a coach, you look in your dugout and say, hey, you're going to put this ball, you're going to step on, you're going to toe that rubber, you're going to throw it down there and see what happens. So technically, yeah, everybody's a pitcher, but there's a couple positions you really want to leave alone. You don't really want your catcher to pitch. You don't really want your shortstop to pitch. So those are some key spots. Outside of that, everybody's probably going to be towing that line there.
I had 7 pitchers in total my first game last night. Everybody was in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what happens when you have games back to back, though.
It was a rough night. Rough night for pitching last night for sure. Tonight, Ron Potesta will have the call with you. You'll also have Tommy Franken on Field 2, and you'll have Andrew Fallett on Field 3. So here's what you have to choose from. CSI playing Eagleware. That's at 5:30. At 6 o'clock, Ballistic taking on A to Z. At 8 o'clock, you'll have Eagleware in the Astro Falcons. 8:15, you'll have Avalanche and A to Z. And finally, tonight, 8:30 on Field 1, you'll have Whiting taking on Creekside. That should be a pretty doggone good game. So make sure that you tune in to YSN tonight. Everything starting at 5:30 on Field 3, and then you work backwards, Field 1 at 6. So looking forward to that and to the first-time debut of Tommy Franken on his own. So we're excited to have him join our team and broadcast some games here, as he'll be doing some games this fall as well. Guys, the one thing that we talked about yesterday, we've been waiting for and trying to get people's opinions on, the governor's press conference last night, 5:30. We all waited with bated breath. Michael's got the identifier right there. It's all about the mask. We heard everything from he was going to step down to, all the businesses were going to be shut down. We were going to take steps back and shut down the economy again. And all it turned into was he asked us very politely to wear a mask. Your thoughts on how it was presented, how it was executed, and essentially just the mask rule for the next 4 to 6 weeks. Quinn, go ahead.
I mean, it is what it is, I guess, at this point. I mean, it's a nice way to say it, I guess. I mean, it was going to happen eventually, so why not now, I guess? I don't know.
Let me ask you a question, Quinn, since you have a dynamic opinion there that it is riveting to everyone. Wow. It is what it is. Let me ask you this. If it's so important, why wasn't it a mandate or a law or anything like that to where Governor DeWine says you do this or else? Right now it's you do this, I really would like you to. The next step is going to be obviously do this or else. Why wasn't it already a do it or else situation?
I mean, I feel like he put too much faith in everybody to have common sense and just do it. I guess.
Last night?
Well, in general, like overall, last night was just kind of like a reminder, I guess, to do it. I don't know. Wear a mask. Whatever.
Mike, your thoughts?
I think what he did last night was similar to what Jim Justice was doing back in late March, early April. He did not want to be the enforcer. He just wanted to ask people, wear your mask and stay safe in public. And then when they didn't, Justice shut down West Virginia. They were one of the final states to actually shut down their economy back in March when the pandemic had actually started. March 14th, we're shutting everything down. But I think that was kind of this this month's version of what Jim Justice did back in the early stages of Corona.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When you said Jim Justice, I thought it was like a cartoon character you made up. I had no idea who the hell Jim Justice was.
No,
I was just like, what?
I only know because I got too much family in West Virginia.
I'm sitting there like, did he just create his own cartoon character, Jimmy Justice, to carry out the mask law? Billy, what are your thoughts on the masks? You had some favorable words for the OHSAA yesterday. Looking forward to your words about our governor.
It's kind of the same though, isn't it? Like you came out just to remind us that we should be wearing masks. Like you changed your time. It was a big deal. It got canceled from 2 o'clock to 5:30, so you can reach people who was getting off of work, or the drive home.
I think there was a big episode of The Young and the Restless on yesterday. That's why he had to change.
Must have been. It's I don't know. I'm just so I'm so glad I'm not in a position of power because I feel like I would just make a decision and just live with it. I mean, and it seems like these politicians and Ohio Athletic Association, same thing. They just don't want to make decisions. Just say, hey, wear a mask. You're going to get fined if you don't wear them. If you don't wear one, or you don't have to wear one. Just either one. Make up your mind.
That would be a mandate. So I would like to see that as well. But people are complaining on both sides of this. EB, you're seeing it on Facebook. You're seeing it on social media. Anything that Governor DeWine said last night, he was not going to be in favor 100%. So, did he make the right decision, and did he execute it well?
Did he execute it well? No. I mean, this was a super prolonged bedtime story-esque way to say wear a mask. I mean, he threw out the power words. He threw out we haven't lost this many people since Vietnam, and he made it sound like we were going to war. And this was more about DeWine than it was anything. I mean, that's my personal take. You could just tell by his ad-libs, how he was sitting there, his pauses. It was more about DeWine than it was, hey, look at me. I got your guys back. We're all Ohioans. Wear a mask. You even said, DJ, you could have sent that out in a mass text or email, and we all would have understood perfectly okay. And I even said that was a lot of words to say, wear a mask.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you hype it up. We all tuned in. I mean, I guess we were all the sheep in that one, per se. And all he said was wear a mask. So, I don't know. It was a waste of time in my book. Like, I literally felt like I was 7 years old getting scolded for not eating my broccoli again. And then if it doesn't happen, then I'm not going to grow big and strong. So, that's where I was at with it.
Tristan, your thoughts?
Yeah, it was kind of a weird move for him to move it, but I'm with everyone. It's a big roundabout way of saying, hey, wear the damn mask, man, because I'm tired of getting yelled at. I don't think he wants to be enforcer, but at the same time, part of me wants to say that he moved it back because they were arguing with, are we going to mandate it and say wear a mask, or are we going to come out and say wear one if you want? I want you to, but you don't have to. So that's what I'm thinking. I think they all got together. At the end of the day, I know it's his decision, but I'm thinking they got together beforehand. We're like, I don't know, what the hell are we going to do? Flip a coin. So maybe that's why they push it back. That's just, I'm just thinking, I don't know. The mask thing to me, if he doesn't say you have to wear a mask, I'm sorry. I don't care if I offend anyone. I'm not wearing a damn mask. No.
I can get behind that.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, do your part, wear the mask. I get it. Trust me, I understand it. And I think there could be some I was just reading about the Big Five conferences and how they're going, or the Power Five conferences, and how they're going to not make every test mandatory for every player and coach. But if you don't take the test, you have to wear a mask regardless. So interestingly enough, are people going to opt for the mask, or are they just going to take the test and get it over with? That's going to be an interesting situation that the Power Five are going to have to deal with. But if you're asking me, like, as soon as you walk through those doors, it's up to you. I've always said that. If you want to wear a mask, feel comfortable, more comfortable, that's fine. If not, you're not offending me. You know what I mean? We have safe spaces anyway. We call them buffer zones. We used to call them buffer zones. There's a buffer zone here. Like, if you roll up on me, I'm going to call you out right to your face. Quinn's had it. Anthony Hartwig's had it. The buffer zone is in effect here at YSN.
Like, when people come and start breathing on your neck and shit, that's weird in itself. Like, yeah, you should just know social distancing. Like, don't be weird. Like, get the hell away.
Social distancing probably should have happened prior to this, right? Like, there's a social distance that should happen. Like, don't be on me. Like, if you're trying to hold my hand, that's one thing. But if you're not, step back. Like,
get the hell away.
As Jim Tressel said, for Pete's sake, have 6 penguins between us. You know what I mean? This isn't something, we're not close talkers here. You know, there's opportunity. I don't want to taste the spit. That's just not how it goes.
The only time it's acceptable to be within 1 inch of each other is in the Steelers concourse on the way out of Heinz Field. Like,
wow.
I'm just saying.
That took a hard left turn.
The only place where I will allow you to be close to me is when we're leaving Heinz Field.
You are overjoyed at Steelers season's coming up, are you not?
I love it. I love it.
Dude, what happens if they scrap it? What the hell are you gonna do?
I think there's no way the NFL scraps the season. I think that might be the only football that plays, but the NFL, that's a guarantee in my opinion.
You see, I don't know if this is real or not. They're giving the players Oakley visors. They're making masks.
Yeah, I've seen that. DJ has the picture.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still up or
That's
not.
That's actually pretty cool. Honestly, I'd probably wear it just to wear it because it looked cool.
Yeah, I don't have it anymore, unfortunately. They got they're like spit guards, right?
72 players just got tested positive for COVID, and you still think there's a season. The NFL, 72 players from the USA Today.
That's about as many as that tested positive in the MLB, and they're still going.
Michael Page says, enough Steelers talk, I'm going to vomit. And the funny thing was, we weren't really talking about the Steelers. He was just making a kind of a joke.
He just tries to get the Steelers every day.
Me and Mike got a bet going on with the Steelers. I'm probably going to lose. I said Juju's going to go over 1,200 yards.
Ben's coming back. I can see it, but I wouldn't put money on it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
I put money on it.
Tristan, I don't think it's a good idea to put money on it.
Can we know the innards of this?
I shook his hand.
Let's move back to masks.
So... yeah.
Can we know the innards of this bet? Like, how much?
$100.
A hundo on this?
Yeah.
Might as well cheer it to 'em
That
now.
depends. Who the Steelers pick up in a draft, because I feel like Juju needs that secondary receiver to get to 1,200.
I mean, the guy plays
Notre
playful.
Dame, and then they got Washington from last year. Can't remember. DJ, help me out. The rookie.
Oh, James Washington?
No, the other one.
Deontay Johnson.
Yeah,
from Toledo.
Yeah, I don't know if he can get free, he might be able to do it. If not, shit, I'm out $100.
I mean, because that's what made. Well, that's what helped AB though, is because he had Juju, so you got the pressure off of him. So
AB was the number 1 receiver. Like, there's
AB
nobody that
was
can.
the best receiver in the NFL.
Well, I'm not discrediting that, but Juju was made a name for himself because AB gets a double team. Now everyone's focusing on Juju. I think if Juju gets someone that can kind of take some pressure off him, that just opens things up a little bit more for him.
I mean, you look at Juju, he just doesn't have that number 1 written on him. He
Not
doesn't.
yet.
Not ever. I'm sorry.
I
don't see it. I saw it on AB the second he made that helmet catch in Baltimore. You could see that he was a rising star. He was getting back, and he was putting in the work. Like, Juju is putting it in the weight room. Like, he's going to be really big and strong, and that's really great. But can he hold on to the dang football just one time? Like,
who's going to be the one then? Who's going to be the number 1 in the future?
I think Deontay Johnson can step into that role within the next 3 years.
I think Ben's going to take. You ever see that wheel of death that they have that they have on him? Yeah, Ben's going to do that, or whoever gives him the best welcome back gift. That's who's going to get the ball the most, because that's what happened with Hines. That's what happened with AB. Like, he would get mad at receivers and find other guys along the way because he would have a falling out with them. So, notice that the last season AB didn't get the ball nearly as much as he did prior to that because he and Ben were doing this. And listen, Ben's my favorite quarterback, second favorite of all time behind Peyton Manning. The dude is a drama king. He
Yes,
is
he
a
is.
drama king. He loves it. He lives for it. He loves riding out on that white horse and saying, "Hey, I'm back." You know what I mean? Let's lead this to victory. And that's one of my least favorite things about Ben Roethlisberger. I'll put it that way. We will talk a little bit. We're going to take a break here at the halfway mark. The NABC guys, and I'm going to lean on Quinn and EB, they want to cancel the requirements for the SAT and the ACT for basketball players in college. We'll talk to you guys about that. Get your points. Myles Garrett saying, quote, "It's time to prove it," after he signs a huge deal with the Browns. We'll get all your opinions. Michael's already smirking up there in the corner about if Myles Garrett's going to be able to pull through on what he's worth. And then, of course, we have Zion popping the bubble in the NBA. Will the NBA fold up shop in 2020? We're going to talk about all that and a little bit more, not to mention our G. Burbick Farms, What's Your Beef? All coming up on the YSN Power Hour. But before we get to that, I do want to tell you about the South Range Athletic Boosters 31st Annual Raider Golf Classic. It's coming up really soon. It's on Friday, July 31st, 2020. You can get all the details available at RaiderGolf.com. Make sure you register your team. It's going to be a great time. There will be YSN folks on the premises. Quinn will be there. I'll be there. Steve Leslie will be there. Steve Leslie, let's try that again. Will be there, and we will have a fourth to be announced very soon. That's going to be at the Flying Bee Golf Course. That is in Salem, Ohio. And, of course, again, head over to RaiderGolf.com. Get signed up today. It's exciting stuff, and it's a good way to end the baseball season and kick off the football season for the South Range Raiders and their fans. We're going to have more when we come back on the YSN Power Hour.
Baird Brothers remains your source for fine hardwood products. For the time being, we're open for customer pickup only on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Saturday from 9 a.m. till noon. Place your order online at BairdBrothers.com. Baird Brothers, for the place you love.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
The 4M Company, being an architect and construction manager for over 40 years, has had the opportunity to use many different electrical businesses for our projects. The depth, quality, and knowledge and attention to detail displayed by Dickey Electric makes them stand out above all the rest.
For state-of-the-art expertise and a timeless commitment to our customers, contact Joe Dickey Electric. We are everything electrical.
21
Good evening,
News.
and thank you for joining us.
Let's get right to our top
More
story experienced tonight. Reporters.
A new Wilmington restaurant. GM Lordstown.
Telling more local stories.
We'll look at efforts. Boy is recovering from a broken.
Around our
Good
valley.
Community in Niles. We are here in Youngstown, right up.
Because you expect.
It's important for everyone. No place like home.
More local news.
In Mercer County
Before
Court.
they become life-threatening. 21 News is our valley's #1 local news.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
And welcome back to the YSN Power Hour. We'll get that cleared up. Guys, this new breaking, developing story that's coming out about the NABC, the National Association for Basketball Coaches, coming out saying they want the SAT and the ACT requirements nixed for college basketball players. It's student athletes, in my opinion, and the ACT and SAT are required for everybody else. So why should it be different for college basketball players who want to play at the next level? We're going to go to our resident experts, the basketball guys right in the middle. We're going to start with EB, and then Quinn can probably take your stuff like he did your blog.
I think there's a couple things for this. One, I think they're getting rid of it because now you see, at least on the boys' side, boys are jumping to the G League. So why am I going to take a test when I can just jump to the G League and go start to make? I think this is just going to be, it's going to be a snowball effect, but it's stupid anyways, because you could have we'll say a kid has a 2.5 GPA, but then he has to get a 23 ACT, or what the NCAA would like them to get is a 23 ACT or whatever it might be to get into college, or to be eligible for it. And then, but you take certain schools and they just kind of say, well, we have enough kids who got a 28 on the ACT. We're going to take a kid who got a 17 because our averages are all going to average out. I mean, to me, it's more of a, they're just trying to prevent kids from jumping to go overseas to the G Leagues, to whatever else it is, and really go back into college basketball, because I think the NCAA and the Basketball Association, NABC, is looking at this and thinking like, all right, we need to change some things, this old school way of thinking, because we're going to start losing a lot of these players, and essentially we're going to start to lose the money because no one's going to want to watch. If Zion Williamson didn't go to Duke and he went to the G League, what would you guys rather watch? Him play in the G League, or him play, or Duke play Georgia Tech for whatever? You're going to go watch Zion because he's the best around. I think it's just them catching up with the times. Standardized testing has nothing to do with a lot of these kids who, these blue chips that everyone watches. It has nothing to do. They're going to the NBA. That it's one and done rule anymore for the Power Five, or a lot of those kids, and it's just become irrelevant. And I think it's irrelevant for any kid going to college. The ACT does nothing for you. Doesn't, what I do in my life has nothing to do with the ACT score that I got, and probably much of you guys as well. So I think it's just, it's an old way of thinking, and it's a first step to get rid of it, I think, all around.
So you believe that standardized testing is on its last legs here?
I mean, it's going to change. It might be. I think people are starting to realize it's irrelevant. It doesn't really prove. It doesn't set anything. What Quinn got on his ACT, what you got, what Tristan, what Michael got or is going to get, what Matt got, like it means nothing in the realm of life of what you're doing. It just told you, hey, this is kind of what in a pressure situation of a test, and you might be terrible at testing to begin with. So it's what's it really proved to you. So I think it's going to snowball to where maybe not next year or 2 years, but 5-10 years, they're like, okay, this ACT, SAT crap is kind of bogus. That's my opinion. And then as far as basketball goes, it's really irrelevant. It's more of a stressor on the kids just to take this test than it is anything that it helps them with.
And it costs money to take it. You
Exactly.
gotta pay to take it.
Right.
So
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Quinn, what are your thoughts on this?
Who does this? It's like a 1% of the 1%. This is where, like the big schools want to get rid of it. You're talking about the G League, but that's 1% of the 1% guys who take it, though, right?
It's the NABC, so it's the basketball coaches that want to do away with this, so that way it's almost entices kids to go to the next level because they don't have to take it. But the problem I think we're going to see is, if that's the case, then why does basketball get off the hook and not football, and not volleyball, and not baseball, and not softball? And you can't let student athletes just not take tests because they play sports. They're students.
Well, it's either going to be an
first.
NCAA rule or not, right? It's not going to be just for one sport.
Well, it really doesn't have anything to do with the NCAA, if you think about it. It has more to do with just universities and general education. This has been something for a long time that has been talked over, standardized testing, because people like myself, not good test takers, doesn't even come close to showcasing the ability that I have to, like Eric said, put into the real world. The fact that I got an 18 on my ACT tells you that I'm not the smartest of the bunch, probably not half as smart as some other kids. But if you score a 32 on your ACT and you can't put two sentences together on with one of these things, then how talented are you to do what we do every day? So standardized testing I'm not really a fan of, but how else can you judge apples to apples? You know what I mean?
Well,
When you're competing for scholarship dollars.
I think so. Basketball does it. I think baseball will do it. And I'm just looking at the sports that you have the opportunity to go play professionally.
Correct.
That the other ones do not. So football, you do not. So they're going to use that for as long as possible, or until the NCAA says you don't have to. Now, baseball, you can come straight out of high school and jump into the pros. If I'm a baseball player and I know I'm going to go straight into the pros, or I get drafted, screw the ACT, man. I mean, I'm going to go make millions, or have the potential to do it. Same with basketball. Even if you don't go to the G League, you can still go overseas, and there's tons of different leagues overseas. So I'm going to go play in Europe or Australia and make a couple $100,000 tax-free. Why am I going to take a test? And so that's where you have college coaches now competing against those professional leagues, pretty much saying, well, just do away with the test so we can – it's one less thing these kids have to stress about, and we can get them back into college. You know, I think eventually the NCAA will jump on that, because what's a huge moneymaker for the NCAA, if not their biggest moneymaker? March Madness.
Yep.
So if you start taking away their best players, they'll change that real quick, because they're losing out on revenue dollars of just people tuning in to watch whoever. You know, I'm a UNC fan, but that doesn't mean that I wouldn't watch Zion Williamson, because he's a once-in-a-lifetime athlete. So if he would have went and played overseas and they started broadcasting that, I'm probably going to watch that, just because he's a freak of an athlete. So I think you'll see baseball, basketball, probably softball or track athletes to where they can jump into a professional setting. They'll start to peel away and do that, and then the NCAA will be forced to make a move.
That's really interesting. That's a great take, EB. Thanks for that. Yeah, Q, I mean, anything left for you to kind of pick the bones?
No, that's pretty much just right where it was. I mean, it's a ruling that's probably going to affect the top maybe 15%, I would say. What about you, Eric? Like top 15%? It's going to trickle down to everybody. But it's designed for that top probably 10 to 15%, like you were saying, that has the opportunity to go into the G League or go overseas. That's pretty much all that it's affecting.
You got Sleepyhead next to you over there. I don't know if he's dying to take a nap or dying to give a take. What do you think, Michael?
I'm dying to get a nap, but no, EB, that was a perfect take. That's exactly everything I was thinking. You know, March Madness is your moneymaker. You got the opportunity to go to the G League. So some changes definitely have to be made at the NCAA level to be able to keep these kids to go the college route, so they can keep that revenue brought in from college basketball, which is probably their number 2 moneymaker behind college football, which they're not going to have to make any changes there. The number 2 moneymaker in the NCAA being college basketball, there definitely needs to be some changes. But where does it end when you take away standardized testing for basketball? Trickles down to baseball, then maybe softball, and then who knows? There's going to be no end if they end standardized testing. So they have to figure out the best possible approach to keep kids on the college route, and probably not take away standardized testing so that it doesn't have a trickle-down effect to even just random kids applying.
I just don't, from that standpoint, you take away standardized testing, I don't know how you then hand out scholarships, because a lot of the scholarships you look at are, okay, you got a 25 on your ACT, you got this number on your SAT, you know, you have a 4.0 GPA. Like, if everything's equal, then it goes to, you know, sudden death, so to speak, and then it goes to your extracurriculars and things of that nature. If there's no basis to start from, EB, where do you see this going? Because you're going to have problems. Because naturally, where we're at as a nation, you're going to start picking this person over this person because of X, Y, Z, or what chromosomes they have, or what melanin they have in their body. That's what's, or at least the accusations will come with that, in my personal opinion. The ACT and the SAT standardized testing does a lot of the sorting out for you from the jump. Would you agree with that?
I don't know, man. So you're telling me if Tristan was a 5-star athlete and he's getting offers from Ohio State, Alabama, Florida, USC, I can give a shit less about what his ACT is. I'm
Wasn't
putting
very
him.
good.
Neither was mine. So, but case in point, like probably if his ACT was a 18, I really give a shit less. I'm thinking about what he's going to bring on the football field. Is he going to give me the best chance to compete for a national championship?
So you're
And
talking about the top 2%, right? So you're talking
Right.
about what about the other 98%? Is
Okay.
what I'm worried about.
so as a person who does give out a scholarship, I don't ask for the ACT. I don't ask for the SAT or anything. What they do is you get to learn the person, and it's up to them to sell me. I'm giving you money, so sell me on you. It's like a job. I mean, fill out your pamphlet that we give, an essay and a letter of recommendation. Let me read through that and essentially sell me on you. Why I'm going to give you this money? I think what you got on an ACT is kind of a cop out of, okay, you showed me you're the smartest kid in class. Here's $1,000. That's not always the best outcome. I mean, I wasn't a very good student. School bores me, but that doesn't mean that I'm not smart. So
school.
Exactly. I mean, dude, it's one of those things like sell me on you just because.
I can see what you're saying, but Yoakley, on the other hand, it's for me. I'm torn in the middle because my buddy, one of my good friends, Jacob Leone, went and jumped for Akron, couldn't get a full ride, so the coach said, if you decide to come here, we'll figure it out. We'll get you on a full ride. It might not all be athletics, but we'll get you here. So I don't know if they base it off of his ACT plus his high school, and then they gave him some academic money. You know what I mean? But
right,
if you do away with that, does it you lose the academic scholarship for schools who like baseball? You can't go out handing out full ride scholarships left and right. You only have a certain amount.
I don't think you get any full ride baseball scholarship, just strictly baseball. It's often comboed. Say if you get 75% or 70%, it's comboed with academic
That's
scholarships.
like track. I think like track, he was right around there, and they found a way to get it. So if you take away the ACT, does that affect like some of these kids coming in and be like, hey, I even though you're giving me 75%, I still can't afford that. Like I need an academic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. I see what you're saying. I mean, I guess it's between a rock and a hard place. And now that you have all these weighted classes, maybe you go towards they take weighted classes. That kind of replaces it, or
college credit classes. Or now these kids are going to they call it college credit plus. Like
right,
they're going to YSU their senior year. So
or Kent State, or I mean, you name it. And I think that's really good opportunity for kids. I'm all aboard on college credit plus. Because, number one, it wasn't there whenever I was in school. I would have loved to take up, because you look at all the thousands of dollars that you save by going the extra mile in high school when you have a little bit more time. When you get to college, a lot of us are working. A lot of us are, if you're an athlete as well, it's like having a second job. And then, oh, by the way, the real world is waiting on you, so you got to start lining up, networking, doing all that stuff. Meanwhile, keeping up your grades so you can graduate college. We talked about it the other day. Like I've never been in a situation where my parents thought that it was okay that I didn't graduate high school. Like it was expected. It's an expectation that I graduated high school. Now we celebrated with a graduation party and all that, just like everybody typically does. But there were moments where there was nervousness. I was one of the first ones in my family to go to college, and it was like, okay, are we gonna make it? Like it was like being in the wild a little bit, because I didn't know what to expect. We never went through the scholarship things. There wasn't the internet the way it is now, where it's readily available with just libraries and opportunities. Like you had to go to your guidance counselor and fill out forms for scholarships, and people were actually coming to the office on behalf of universities and colleges. I just think that standardized testing will never go completely away. It's always going to be needed in some form or fashion, because until something else comes out that says, listen, this is where we can put your value on who you are as a student, because colleges are kind of rolling the dice on you if they're giving you scholarships, right? They're giving you money back and they're giving you discounts, and they have to be able to evaluate correctly. So if you bring this to the table, now naturally, EB, if you're a 5-chip athlete, 5-star athlete, a blue chip, and you come, you're probably going to find some money that other people like you and I won't.
You're going to find a way to get there.
Yeah, they're going to find some unbelievable scholarships or grants or donors that are going to help you find your way. But That's the 2%. The 98% of us that are out there grinding, we need the standardized testing. So I know I need to go get a 26 on my ACT because that means this much money from me. You know what I mean? That way
Right.
that I can go get a scholarship academically that if I'm going to D3, naturally you're not going to get. So one of those situations, Billy Mac's dog's going off. I love it. Hound dog, get him. But I mean, that's where I'm at. Like, I would rather think about the 98% than the 2% because of, I mean, look, I want to address more people. So if you get rid of the ACT and the SAT, is there anything out there that you guys have seen in your talks with your athletes, your studies, and EB, you do this a lot if you're handing out scholarships. Is there anything out there that you think can replace it? Like, is there anything that you just go, okay, if they do this, then I think that the ACT and SAT can be toast?
Go to the military. You'll get school paid for.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. Or I don't know if there's anything that can replace it. I mean, I think of people like Tanner Hoffer from Crestview, who had a 30 ACT, 4.9 million GPA, you know, and that got her a lot of money to go to school. Like, I'm talking, that got her probably, like Jacob Leon, probably 75% of what she's gonna get. She's gonna come out of college owing maybe $6,000 total dollars to a college that costs $34,000 a year, which is phenomenal. So I don't know if there's anything that replaces the ACT yet, but I think sometimes for that 98%, you know, there's a lot of weight on that ACT. If you don't do well on it, then you're not going to get a lot of money. And that's still, that doesn't mean you're a bad student. I mean, once you get into college and you get those core classes out and you actually get into studying what you want to study, I think that's where you find a lot of kids get into their passion because they're intrigued in it. You know, I could care less about geometry, stats for everyday life. It had nothing to do with history, what I went to school for. So I didn't put forth the best effort. So I'm not sure if there's anything out there that I've ever seen, and I don't know if anyone has seen anything, but there's got to be something that helps. Like I said, you know, Tristan said they have those core plus classes to where you go into college, you know, start to use that, really push that, especially because your high schools pay for it. I don't know, like DJ, you and I kind of graduated close around the same time, you know, the early 2000s. I wish they would have had that. I would have jumped all over that, man. But, you know, so I think if you can use that, and if those students take that, you know, then there shouldn't be as much weight on your ACT to get a scholarship or whatever it might be. So
to put a bow on this, Mike, I mean, you're the guy that's gator closest to the boat. Talk to me about the pressures of the ACT, SAT that you have in school right now.
Man, I don't know. With everything being shut down for a while, I don't think I've really thought at all about an ACT or an SAT. But, you know, a lot of the teachers that teach more than just freshmen and sophomores that are teaching these upperclassmen as well. So I think my Spanish teacher was one of them. They stress, like, looking at colleges right away, like preparing for that ACT. I'm actually taking advantage of those College Credit Plus classes that you guys are mentioning. But, you know, it's all about making sure that you get the high enough score in the ACT, getting the high enough score in the SAT. That was actually preached a little bit in 8th grade. So, you know, everybody in school, all the teachers stress that you have to be ready for that test. You have to study for it because that's going to be the big thing that gets you into these colleges.
All right, guys, let's turn the page as we try to cruise through the Power Hour here. Everybody's favorite Brown, Myles Garrett, getting paid big-time bucks out of Cleveland. And now he comes out and says, quote, "It's time to prove it." Does this make you feel a little bit more at ease with your guy saying, well, that means that he's got a lot more life in him now? Or do you see this as he's been lollygagging it, and now he got paid, and now he's going to turn it on? Like, which side of the coin are you guys on? Quinn, we'll start with you.
Never
I mean, it's not a matter of him lollygagging or whatever. I mean, it's no shock to probably all of us that he underperformed being the number one pick in the draft and doing what he did. But with that being said, if he was playing 80% or whatever, I mean, he still had like 14 sacks or something like that up until the point last year where he got suspended. Like, if that's at 80%, I could only imagine how good he's going to be 100% of the time. But outside of that, I mean, good. We signed a guy. We made a guy that we drafted made it to the second contract. So,
Billy, what are you thinking?
Listen, my little closed circuit, none of them are Browns fans. None of them are Steeler fans. And they're terrified of Myles Garrett. They think Myles Garrett is a top 3 pass rusher. So, and they're Cowboys fans, Eagles fans, Patriots fans. They're not in the heart of us. Right?
First
They're
thing you
not in
need
our
to do is
clique
figure
here.
out new people to hang around. If those are all your fans.
Yeah.
Well, probably. But, yeah. So, I mean, that 49er fan, even Kate gives the dibs to Myles Garrett. But he's a problem, and he can be a problem. So, you take a risk on a guy, pay him whatever he wants, and, it's a good thing that I think this is the first guy in a long time I can remember that we signed a contract to, that we drafted. So
that's a good point.
Kudos.
Who would
If I'm not
guy?
mistaken, this is the first pick in, I think, the last 13 or 14 that the Browns have actually signed to a second contract past the rookie deal.
I would say if I had to guess, it's probably Joe Hayden is probably the last guy that we signed to a contract after.
Now he's in the Steelers uniform.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We really appreciate Joe Hayden.
It's great because he can't cover anything. So.
Right. Well, I mean, he did shut down Cooper Kupp last year. I mean, he's regarded as a top 10. He's regarded by multiple people as a top 10 defensive back.
Kupp.
Listen,
ESPN just did a top 20 or top 10 cornerbacks today. He was not on the top 10 list.
It's not on a top 20 list.
He's on the top 20 list.
Maybe when he was a Brown, he was the top 10
back
guy.
when he was a Brown, he was. Not now. Joe Hayden couldn't cover a wall right now.
I will just say this: Joe Hayden has more wins with the Steelers than he ever had with the Browns.
Really tough to do. And really tough to do.
We did go 0-16. That happened.
Like, come on.
So
I just saw it. I literally just saw it. I thought that was impressive.
I don't even know where to go from here. But Michael, you see what happens when you stir this up, the whole Browns Steelers thing. It just goes derailed.
He's a sheltered Steelers fan. He doesn't know what losing's like.
He doesn't. He doesn't appreciate winning yet.
I don't know what losing in the NFL's like.
The guy that's never washed a window in his life is going to talk about being sheltered?
Just because I don't wash windows doesn't make me an NFL sheltered fan.
It makes you a sheltered human being. EB, do you have a take on this? You're kind of a neutral party.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. He's a great talent, so I'm going to leave it at that. But it's outside of that. If you're going to make that amount of money, then go for it. Risk reward. I feel like people pay off a potential on their second year anyways, or their second contract anyways, unless if you come out and you just totally light it on fire. But I really don't have too much of a take. I don't follow too much professional football, so I'll just leave it to the Browns fans versus Michael because that's more entertaining than the contract.
Tristan, your thoughts on Myles Garrett?
I like Myles Garrett. I think he's a stud. He swings a hell of a helmet, let me tell you. But I don't think his time to prove it was him, like saying, "Oh, I can be better." I think it's saying like this money's not going to go to waste. Like,
whatever happened to humility when you signed a contract? Like, I'd like to thank the owners. I'd like to thank
humble. Yeah. Like Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes pretty much owns the damn Chiefs now, and he never came out and said, "I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna win another Super Bowl." I will say that. But talking about being, I don't know, where those lines are, but
somebody makes me a half a billionaire, I'm gonna say thank you. I'm sorry. Like somebody buys me a slice of pizza, I'm gonna tell them thank you. Like I'm humbled that somebody would want to give something to me. If somebody gives me $500 million, there's not a whole lot that I wouldn't do. There are some things, but there's not a whole lot. Let's put it that way.
There's pretty much there's like nothing I wouldn't do.
So you're just saying he's got to live up to the contract. It's nice that he signed it. He's got to live up to it.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the way, like he meant it as it came out, then damn, old boys probably shouldn't have got that money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm a little worried about it, and I'm allowed to be because I'm worried. I think he's a good athlete. I think he's a great impact player. I just don't know that he is the guy that has done 100% for an entire game yet in his career, and that's a lot of money to throw around. So we'll see how it goes.
He takes plays off for sure.
Let's take a look at this. Zion has left the bubble in the NBA. So you've got Zion Williamson, who decided to leave due to a family issue. Now the NBA without one of their star players. We asked this question before: who has got to leave or who has got to come down with COVID for the NBA to fold up in 2020? Guys, your thoughts?
LeBron's
James.
got it.
LeBron's
got to.
I thought that today. If LeBron gets it, then they're gonna scrap it
done.
because
Done.
they don't want they want the Lakers to win. And if LeBron gets it, they're shutting it down. I'm telling you right now.
Do you think this would be the storybook fairy tale ending, so to speak, if the Lakers win it because of what happened with Kobe and COVID and all this stuff? Do you think this is the perfect end of their DVD for 2020?
Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be pretty sweet.
I mean, the Patriots won at 9/11 after 9/11, didn't they?
Oh boy.
And then the Saints won after Katrina.
They did.
There's a
I'm
history
just
of
glad
it.
nobody brought up Bettis
For
yet.
Kobe.
That's the one people usually
For
bring
Kobe.
up. Oh, Bettis was going to retire.
Yeah, that's me. I'm a Steelers fan, but that's me. Like, come on, that could
Ray Lewis.
Ray
Baltimore.
Lewis.
He killed a guy.
He killed a guy. That's right. Brick killed a guy.
Brick killed a
Brick wanna
guy.
lay
Yeah.
low for a while.
You want to lay low for a little bit.
I mean, there's a history of it, you know.
I think I would have tried it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think Zion leaving for family emergency tells you that something's going on. We don't know about. They're still getting their triangle sandwiches and macaroni salad in the NBA world. So I'm interested to see how this shakes out.
For sure, they structured this whole thing so Zion's team could be in it. So
Bingo.
Right.
I mean, that he's been a ton of hype, and if you're gonna pretty much put this together, you know, I don't know. I still think Lakers are kind of notched to win it because, like you said, the Kobe thing, it'll kind of make it.
Put that cherry right on top.
It'll make it a little sweeter. It's not going to be a great thing, but it's going to make it, you know, a little sweeter. But when you structure this whole bubble and playoff and season so Zion can be in it, I think people's eyebrows are now starting to be more raised than they were a week ago. So
I'm with you.
I don't think the champion counts anyway this year. So
I think it counts.
I think you have to count
it. Counts. It doesn't matter.
Otherwise,
you win a chip. I don't care under what circumstances you win it. You win a chip. You win a chip. End of story.
They played like 40 games. And had 5 months.
So
no, I think they played like 60. I think they played the majority of their schedule. Have they not?
They had a month and a half left until they went on until they had that hiatus.
I think they had like 20 games left.
Maybe even a month.
They
played the majority of that season.
Yeah, like baseball, maybe that one shouldn't count. This one coming up, probably. I mean, when you're playing a 30-year
there's going to be an asterisk next to it. But
I mean, what's your take on that, Billy?
Did they play more games when?
Listen, I'm only here for baseball season to see Chapman hit Altuve. That's it.
And Chapman's got COVID.
I mean, they're going to have.
Oh, he's coming back just to hit Altuve.
It's going to have to happen in the playoffs. It has to happen in the playoffs.
I don't think they even play anymore.
I hope they both make the playoffs. Hope they make the playoffs.
It's going to have to happen in the ALCS.
You're a strange bird, Billy Mack. A strange
I can't wait for it.
Let's get to our G. Burley Farms What's Your Beef, guys. It's the time that you can air your grievances, and we will start with the man in the pink shirt down in the middle. Hey, lead us off, brother.
Dude, I have two. First of all, one of them is my point guard for Salem just got a brand new Cadillac MKZ as a car with massaging seats, which is total bullshit because I'm driving a 7-year-old Ford Fusion. So, I mean, kudos to her. That's awesome. But I hate when kids in high school have better cars than I do, and I work my ass off for things.
Kudos to her parents, right?
Yeah, I mean, but she's a great person. She's a good kid, so I don't mind it. You know, she wasn't a good if she wasn't a good person, then I'd be hurt by it. But kudos to her. And then also, dude, it's 90-something degrees out. And they're great people, but my neighbors are sitting in a hot tub when they have a pool available. So that just doesn't make sense to me.
Love it. Billy, what's your beef?
I'm still on this Ohio Athletic Association kick, man. Still on it. Day 2. Still recovering from it.
Day 2 of the beef. You have some leftovers in the fridge. You're bringing back out. Love it. T, what do you got?
Okay. So today I went on a 5-mile run, and then I rode my bike 6 miles. I almost got hit 4 times. You see me running. Do not hit me. I will die. That's my beef. I'm a human being. That's murder. I'm trying to get off the road. Do not hit me. And don't
They're
get
probably
pissed at me.
distracted. They're probably wondering why you're wearing a trash bag.
I almost died like 4 times today. I was so mad. Don't, damn it, get away.
Quinn, what do you got?
Steeler fans.
Oh.
You, Michael. You.
I'm glad I'm the reason Browns
Michael's
fans
my
are pissed
beef.
all the
That's
time.
it.
Your beef will be Baker Mayfield after the season's over.
No, it won't be. I've established it's either him or draft a new one, so it's okay.
You're gonna be drafting a new one next year.
That's fine.
This isn't our first time drafting a new one, Mike.
Trevor Lawrence looks great in orange. Bring him in.
He's gonna look great in a Jags uniform. I'll tell you that.
Oh,
that won't happen.
Hey, he's our draft expert. He's going to know better than you do.
Nah.
He is the draft expert. That's a fact.
Michael, what's your beef?
I got a couple. One is the wine pushing everything to 5:30 and then saying, wear your damn mask. 2 is the fact that they're just hyping up this whole Redskins situation. Just tell us what the hell happened. I don't want to be left in suspense. I don't care if nothing's going on. Just tell me what the hell happened so that we can bash Dan Snyder.
Yeah, we weren't going to touch that one quite today, but since you brought it up, that's kind of my beef. Is listen, when it rains, it pours, and in Washington, dude, it is a typhoon. I don't want to say poor Dan Snyder, dude's rich, but his situation is about to ramp up, and Cat Daddy's going to be sleeping in orange PJs here pretty soon. It sounds like so. My beef is this: if you got something to hide, make sure that it either goes in your closet or you put it to rest, because otherwise it's going to come out. The skeletons are going to come out and slap you in the face like it's going to do Dan Snyder here probably in the next 24, 48 hours. So,
you think someone's doing the Indian rain dance on him?
I think my dude is basically the modern day Jordan Belfort. So he's going to be the Wolf of Wall Street, except it's going to be the Wolf of Washington. So maybe it'll be the Washington Red Wolves, like I keep hearing. So interestingly enough, 72 trademarks, guys, have been put on the docket for Washington. I don't know how you're going to decipher your way through that, but it'll be interesting to see what they choose out of those 72 trademark and copyrights. That is going to do it for our show today. Thanks to all of the guys here, Tristan, as well as Quinn, and EB, Mike, and Mac. My name is DJ. That is going to do it for us. Don't forget, tomorrow we close out your week right here from 3 to 4 on the YSN Power Hour. Guys, say goodbye.